Do you know what's going on in South Carolina? Can I tell you a little bit about the dirty tricks they're using in South Carolina and what this has to say about Jamie Harrison, the Democrat candidate for Senate who's challenging Lindsey Graham? This race has kind of turned into a national uh, referendum in a way of Democrat dirty tricks versus the Republican Party. It's a little bit like the Ted Cruz Beto O'Rourke battle was in 2018. Over at Red State, they write, not a day goes by where there isn't a fawning puff piece on how Harrison has managed to make a race competitive. You want to know how they're trying to win in South Carolina and beat Lindsey Graham? They're not trying to advance the message of this liberal Democrat, Jamie Harrison. They're pretending that a guy named Bill Bledsoe, who dropped out a month ago, he was earlier in the year challenging Lindsey. He dropped out and voted for Lindsey Graham. He's a complete Lindsey Graham supporters. But get this, because Bledsoe missed the deadline to be removed from the ballot prior to withdrawing, his name is still on the ballot. And so the pro-Jamie Harrison side, including the Never Trumpers and all those scoundrels who hate Trump and are trying every way they can to lift up Democrats, they're lying to the voters of South Carolina by saturating the airwaves with ads that suggest that Bill Bledsoe is a viable alternative to Lindsey Graham. I don't think I've ever seen anything more cynical or corrupt in politics in a long, long time. I've got the proof for you. Here's the spot that's being saturated on the radio airwaves in South Carolina. Now get this. This is the ad that the Jamie Harrison campaign has produced, complete with the phony Southern accent announcer. This is an announcer who's obviously pretending to have a Southern accent. Listen to what they're saying. Remember, Bill Bledsoe dropped out of the race a month ago and endorsed and voted for Senator Lindsey Graham. Listen to this ad.
Lindsey Graham can't be trusted. He tells us he opposes abortion, then votes for 2 of Obama's pro-choice Supreme Court justices. Lindsey Graham's word is worthless. Just ask right-wing Constitution Party candidate for Senate, Dr. Bill Bledsoe.
We did not take responsibility for Lindsey Graham. He is a puppet.
Dr. Bledsoe talks about owning a small business and rescuing bald eagles, but Bledsoe opposes all abortions, and Bledsoe never wavered on Donald Trump. He supported Trump from day one. Bledsoe held gun rallies across South Carolina claiming that any gun control law infringes upon the Second Amendment.
They are taking our civil right to defend our families by taking our guns.
Dr. Bill Bledsoe, no abortions, no restrictions on guns, and pro-Trump from day one. Bill Bledsoe's just too conservative for South Carolina.
Paid for by Jamie Harrison for U.S. Senate.
Paid for by Jamie Harrison for U.S. Senate. It's one of the sleaziest, dirtiest, nastiest, most vile I'd like to know if there are people in South Carolina listening to me who've heard that ad and voted for Bill Bledsoe this month in early voting. That might be an interesting conversation to have. Maybe you want to call me. If you're upset with Lindsey and you saw Lou Dobbs a week ago throw his temper tantrum about Lindsey Graham not doing enough to investigate the deep state and want to punish Lindsey, I know Lou Dobbs. He doesn't want Jamie Harrison to be a U.S. senator. There's no way. Do you think Jamie Harrison's going to investigate the deep state? You think a liberal Democrat, Jamie Harrison, is going to hold their feet to the fire? Come on. You can't play games here. There's too much at stake. Lindsey Graham absolutely has to be reelected. And South Carolinians shouldn't be lied to. Here was Bill Bledsoe this morning on 94.5 The Answer with my friend and business manager and colleague Joey Hudson. Joey interviewed Dr. Bledsoe this morning about these Democrat tactics that have got to be endorsed nationally by the Democrat Party. certainly supported by the Never Trumpers and all those who hate Trump and hope Lindsey Graham gets defeated. He's a veterinarian. Here's Dr. Bill Bledsoe, who's furious at the tactics that they are employing to try to defeat Lindsey Graham.
Let's start with the fact that you have withdrawn from the race, right?
Correct. As soon as I got wind that it was going to be a tight race, I withdrew because the Constitution Party can never win a race like this. We're there as just to show, we never get more than 2 or 3% of the vote, but we're there just to show Senator Graham that, well, we didn't approve with the way he voted this last term. And so it's just a statement. But in this race, the race was too close with Jamie Harrison being given over, over $100 million, over, to buy publicity and buy the election. And so it was too close. So I pulled out as soon as I saw that, because the 3% that normally goes to me could make the difference in this election with it being close.
Yeah, and that's what Jamie Harrison is counting on. So you withdrew, but unfortunately, there wasn't enough time to have your name removed from the ballot. Is that correct?
Correct. I could not get it removed. Yeah.
So when voters, those who have voted absentee already, maybe they go today, and especially on Tuesday when you go to vote, you're going to see Bill Bledsoe as an option on that ballot. So is it a fair statement to say, Dr. Bledsoe, that you support the reelection of Senator Lindsey Graham?
Oh, yeah, I support it 100%. If we don't reelect Senator Graham, 2 really, really important things are going to happen. Number one, he's head of the Judiciary Committee. There will be no more conservative federal judges approved from President Trump. So we lose that wonderful ability of he's had approved over 200, almost 250 federal judges. And then the other thing that happens is we are really close to losing conservative Senate majority in the Republican Party. Yeah. And if we lose it, then President Trump, everything he's done, everything will be dead in the water. He won't be able to accomplish another thing in his second 4 years.
That's Bill Bledsoe in South Carolina with Joey Hudson this morning on 94.5 The Answer. That's the guy that the Jamie Harrison campaign is pretending is a viable candidate because he's technically still on the ballot. If that kind of behavior is rewarded in this country, if the Democrats are rewarded for this sleaze, scummy kind of tactic, God help us all. God help this country. They just cannot win.